Listen, whenever there is trouble in your life, whenever there is chaos going on in your life, there is only one thing that will get you through it, and that is a word from the Lord. Why don't you join in with us as we join Greater Joy Incorporated live with a word from the Lord. This will change your life.
They've been there a long. God is saying, sometimes I can't give you quick deliverance. Because let me tell you what generation we in. We in a new generation in church. We in this name it and claim it, blab it and grab it. Yeah, we think that if we speak in enough tongues, we think sometimes that if we throw enough money on the altar, we think if we dance and run enough. But sometimes you can dance all you want, run all you want, speaking all the time, lay on your face, but God gonna let you go through some stuff in order that when you come out of it this time, you will know what it's like to have to go through. And listen, let me tell you about, there's somebody here, anybody beside me ever been broke? Let me deal with this. I mean, I ain't talking about you couldn't go buy no Pepsi. I'm talking about broke. I'm talking about broke to where that you got to call and make arrangements for your light bill this month, and you paid your phone bill last month, and y'all know, I'm talking about broke to where you had to hide your car. I'm talking about broke where you standing in line with rolled up pennies. I'm talking about broke where you hid your food stamp card so nobody didn't know you had it. Y'all ain't gonna help me in here. But if you ever get through that rough spot, you learn how to not always end back up at the same place all the time. So if you get broke, now you learn how, through the process, you learn that you don't spend I heard my mama-in-law tell my niece the other day, don't you spend every dime you got. Sometimes you got to hold on to something in case some stormy days come, because they're going to get some dark days in your life. Amen. If you ain't learned nothing, if you were broke 2 years ago and you still broke, I'm going to leave that alone because they don't like to hear the truth. You ain't learned nothing. Yeah, because, yeah, let me move on. So y'all don't want to hear that truth right there. See, I want you to see that is that he comes in the fourth watch of the night. He comes at the last moment. I'm so glad God is looking for some ride or die folks. Folks that will just hang in there. You can't have this new generation. Christianity is messed up. We teaching folk that if you shout a certain way or run a certain way, dance a certain way, that everything gonna be just smooth and peachy keen. But some days it's gonna be rough still. And God is teaching us, can you hang in there when it get rough? Can you hang in there when it ain't going your way? Can you hang in there when you don't have the best job? Can you hang in there when your children acting a fool? Can you hang in there when you don't have a dime to your name? Can anybody in here ever been without a job and had to hang in there? You got to learn some endurance before you get your deliverance. Yeah, Elder Britt, Grant is here where I think I lost some folk, because what I'm looking for is the folk that have been through some stuff. I got to go, but if he comes, here it is. I'm finished. If he comes at the last watch, after 3 o'clock, then it's midnight, the darkest moment of the night. He comes at the darkest moment. That's what the text is saying, which means that if I made it through midnight, y'all just missed your shout, then I'm too close now to give up. I came to let the devil know, if I made it through the darkest place, then surely I can hang on a little while longer. Amen. So you got to learn some endurance before you get delivered. Point number 2, I got 8 minutes. Point number 2, the text says he comes walking on the water, which tells us that and it says that they didn't recognize him because they thought he was a ghost. The text says that he came walking on the water. They don't recognize him. Don't look down on him, because First Lady, sometimes when we dealing with this thing, when we dealing with fear will hamper your vision. You can talk that you got it all together all you want, but if enough trouble come your way, sometimes you'll forget the stuff that you already know. You ever had that it happen to you in your life where you know that God is a provider, but as he begins to let you go through some issues, what he told you and instilled in you, in your spirit, it'll get slipped somewhere in the dark place whenever you get in trouble. Now, trouble can bring some stuff on you sometimes, make you forget that he's still good. But you got to learn how, Lord help me, to say and declare he's good, even if it don't look like it's good. Sometimes it'll hamper your vision to the extent that the stuff that you ought to recognize, you don't recognize. They say it's a ghost. He said, no, it's me. It's interesting that Peter is the only one faithful enough to take a risk. Peter says, if it's you, give me permission to not only come where you are, but give me the permission to do what you're doing. Y'all got that? I don't just want to come there. I want to have your kind of power. Yeah, can I tell you something else that jumped out at me? And not only, I don't think that he just wanted to go to where Jesus was. I also think he wanted to get away from them scared folk in the boat. Y'all didn't get it. Because he hanging out with folk that don't believe. He hanging out with folk that's saying, looking around, are we going to perish? He's hanging out with people that's struggling with the storm. And I think that not only did he want to get in Jesus' presence, but he wanted to get away from folk that ain't got no faith. I think too many of us, we think that we got some real friends in our life. But you ought to have somebody you can call on in the midnight, in a dark hour. If you ain't got one person that can talk you out of your foolishness, if you ain't got one person that can talk you out of going crazy, if you ain't got one person that can pray you through, you got the wrong kind of friends. Yeah, I wonder how many of y'all got somebody that can pray you through. Ah, my God, I feel my help coming on. Do me a favor, elbow your neighbor and tell him I'll get you through it. Peter says, give me permission to come where you are. I believe that he has some scared folk on the boat. So I want to get away from those scared folk. One of the greatest issues in our life is that we believe that our safety net sometimes is in the ship. But I want to tell you that sometimes your greatest safety ain't in the ship. Your greatest safety is in the storm if Jesus is in the storm. So Jesus said, all right, come on. The text says that he got out of the boat. Not that he sank. It didn't say he stumbled. It didn't say that he fell. It says that he got out of the boat and he walked on the water. Now, if he said, if it's you, that means that he wasn't really clear that it was Jesus or not, but his obedience to the command gave him the faith that he needed. Real faith is not about what you see. Real faith is not about you knowing that it's going to be all right. Real faith is about knowing that things could be tough, but I'm still going to hold on anyhow.
What a word. I hope it blessed your life. This is what God is saying for you, and we're just so happy that you joined Greater Joy to hear what God is saying. Tune in to us next broadcast next time. God bless you.